Tom Vanderbilt, author of Traffic, Why We Drive the Way We Do, explains the importance of eye contact while driving. He says, "Eye contact is a fundamental human signal. All kinds of studies have shown, for example, how people are more likely to cooperate with one another when they can make eye contact. When we don't have it, when we become anonymous, we not only lose some of that impulse towards cooperation, we seem to become susceptible to all kinds of behavior we might not otherwise engage in." Vanderbilt points out that when traffic patterns such as roundabouts force us to slow down and to make eye contact and exchange human signals with other drivers, everything works more smoothly. If we do not have to make eye contact, we could make rude gestures, drive aggressively, and do any number of things that we would not do otherwise, and perhaps for which we should atone this morning. Eye and facial contact is critical outside of the car as well. Emmanuel Levinas, a modern philosopher, describes the face as key to knowing another person. He writes, "The face is not the mere assemblage of a nose, a forehead, and eyes. It takes on the meaning of a face through the new dimension it opens up in the perception of a being. Through the face, the being is presenting itself somehow in a personal way. Our faces, not just our eyes, are the windows into our souls, into who we are and how we can connect to one another. It may well be that without interacting panim el panim, face to face, we do not reach this deep connection of being to being. To look another human being face to face, to truly see them, helps us to access our own humanity. Very few of us want to be alone all of the time, and when we are struggling with a question or situation, we often turn to our friends and family for company and advice. In joyful moments, we invite those close to us to share in the celebration because our joy is increased through their participation, and it tells us that we matter to them. Imagine inviting people for a bar mitzvah, and everyone replies no. Do we feel that we are important, or are we left unseen? Or imagine a celebration where everyone Skypes in rather than is being physically present. Getting past the question of how they'll eat the cake or dance the hora, we have to wonder if this will make us feel valuable, loved, and seen. Amplify this even more when we are talking about a severe loss or illness. If no one calls or reaches out, or worse, looks away when we walk past, we often feel invisible and isolated. Those who have had similar experiences often are the first and sometimes only people who are comfortable reaching out and being present. Rabbi David Wolpe wrote, "When one suffers a tragedy, the population of fellow sufferers suddenly opens up. The world is filled with those who have undergone the same trauma, but no one ever knew it." We can especially connect around these shared experiences of loss, illness, grief, and difficulty through those face-to-face moments. How we connect, how we look into someone's eyes and see their pain and allow it to touch our souls, this is how we are fully present for one another, panim el panim. But what if we don't share the experience? We are not absolved from the responsibility to care and to reach out. The Torah teaches us over and over of our responsibility to reach out to the poor, the orphan, the widow, and the stranger. We are especially commanded to care for those who are vulnerable and least likely to be seen in our society. We all know that it is possible to walk past a homeless person asking for money, or at services to walk past someone we do not know to say Shabbat Shalom to the person we know well. However, we also know that once we have made eye contact, we can no longer just walk by in the same way. As human beings, we will always have the ability, even the temptation, to focus inward and to not see clearly those around us. Judaism tells us that we must go past that inclination and instead open up our eyes to see each person around us, especially those who may feel invisible. But it can be hard to see another person's pain. I was recently speaking with someone about going to visit a friend in the hospital. He was concerned that he was so upset he wouldn't be a good visitor, let alone a good friend. I know there are people who get nervous about attending a funeral or shiva house or visiting a nursing home because of the associations. the smells, the sounds, the memories. Anytime we visit someone in the hospital, nursing home, or go to a funeral, it can open up our own mortality, our fears for our loved ones, our humanity. A congregant who went to bring chicken soup from caring at the temple to someone who is ill shared with me how the recipient was just like her grandma. Those relationships, the moments of seeing someone in a difficult time, is when we see others and ourselves more fully. We admit that person sounds like my grandmother, my father, my child, or me. When we are present with another in these human moments, taking the time to be with someone else, we feel more human. We open up our often contained emotions and feel the uncertainty of the world and our lives. It sounds difficult, but think about what accessing that humanity then means. Picking up the phone to check in with a family member, getting on the treadmill an extra day a week, feeling as though we have done something meaningful for us and another person, being holy. This year, we will begin a program called Bikor Cholim, visiting the sick through caring at the temple. On October 26th, we will hold a training for volunteers, and then we will match congregants to visit those who are not able to come to temple often because of age or illness based upon their needs and availability. This is to build on our chicken soup deliveries, to reach out to people who are not often seen in this building, to let them know that we as a community see them and care about them. Whether you will have time only to call someone once a month, are interested in visiting once a week, or might be able sometime to deliver chicken soup in your zip code, please fill out the form in the back of your handouts, because we all have a role to play in creating a temple family that sees each and every one of its members. To say we are all humans is not an admission of failure. It is an affirmation of who we are and our ability to connect to one another. We are fundamentally the same. As the rabbis say in the Talmud, whose blood is redder? We are all in the same human conditions and situations. On this Yom Kippur, as we acknowledge our human frailties and our potential, we can embrace our humanity by seeing one another and seeing ourselves. To encounter another person panim el panim, face to face, is to also begin to encounter the divine. One of my favorite stories is Shel Silverstein's The Giving Tree. In it, we see the story of a boy and a tree. For the start of their friendship, they love and care for each other with a deep bond. Then, as the boy grows older, he stops seeing the tree in the same way. He comes to her because he needs something. He takes her apples, her branches, even her face, until eventually nothing is left except for a little tree stump for him to use as a seat. The boy, as he ages, represents a basic human instinct, as at a certain point, he stops seeing nature and all that is around him. Instead, he focuses on himself and his needs, ignoring the emotional needs of others. Ironically, the tree, the non-human, represents a more full expression of our humanity. She is present. She gives of herself and is fulfilled by it, even if she is not seen in return. She sees the boy as he is and asks if she can help him, reaching out to him as best she can. To be human is to care for those around us, not to say we care or passively care, but to look into the eyes of the people around us and say through our words and our actions, I see you. I see you as you are, and I am here for you. I can put aside my life for a moment to see what you need. I can bring you in to be a part of my life. In seeing you, I am seen as well. I am more fully human. May this be our resolution for the new year. Not to be perfect, but to be human. Let us take time to see those around us, the people we know, and those who would otherwise go unnoticed. And may we be blessed with people in our lives who will see us as well. Amen.